Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Splits here, and we're back with another NFL mock draft. Before I get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we're almost to 1,500 subscribers. We're so close. So if you could help me out and hit that subscribe button, that'd be super appreciated. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and have the Bears take Caleb Williams. One thing I thought was interesting is I believe today actually, interviewed Cliff Kingsbury for their offensive coordinator job, and I think that just about seals their idea to get Caleb Williams. I mean, interviewing Cliff Kingsbury, who knows about all there is to know about Caleb Williams, bringing him in at the same time, it's a pretty dead giveaway. So, honestly, I think from now on, Caleb Williams is my for sure number one pick. But from then on, I'm going to go ahead and have the Commanders take Drake May. I think really whoever they end up hiring as head coach is going to want a new quarterback. And I think Drake May is going to be an awesome player for them. Patriots here, going to go ahead and give them Marvin Harrison. Cardinals, honestly, I'm going to give them Malik Neighbors. Now, there have been times here that I've thought about Joe Alt and Alu Fashanu, but I just figured you give Kyler Murray the best possible receivers you can, and he's gonna help that offense. I know the offensive line needs some help, but I think the receivers need even more help. I don't expect them to re-sign Hollywood Brown. I feel like he's probably going to end up walking in free agency. So, give Kyler Murray the best chance possible to succeed. Here at number 5, I have been throwing out Brock Bowers to the Chargers left and right. I think he's the perfect pick for them. Unless Malik Neighbors still happens to be on the board at this point. Then I'd probably go Neighbors. But since he's not, I think Brock Bowers is the perfect pick. I mean, he's a good blocker, but he's an even better receiving threat. Their current tight end, Gerald Everett, is getting kind of old. He's had some injury history. Just can't be that reliable guy anymore, you know. Keenan Allen is also starting to get old. You know, he's their number one receiver, and he's still playing at a good level, okay? But they've got to have more playmakers than that, you know? Their offense was really lackluster this year. So, I think whoever they hire as head coach is going to love getting Brock Bowers for Justin Herbert. So, the Giants on the clock here, I'm going to go ahead and give them Joe Alt. What I envision here is obviously keep Andrew Thomas at left tackle, and then I would actually envision putting Evan Neal at right guard, and then putting Joe Alt at right tackle, and then putting Ben Brutterson at left guard instead. The reason for that is Justin Pugh, their left guard, allowed the most sacks from the guard spot in the entire league. Not good for their quarterback at all. Ben Brutterson wasn't very good either. He allowed, I want to say, 5 sacks as well, according to PFF. I know it's PFF. You got to take it with a grain of salt, but still not great from the O-line. I think no matter what help you can give them, I think makes a big difference there. So then for Tennessee, I'm going to go ahead and give them Rome Odunze. more help for Will Levis. That's all I've got to say. Give him the best chance possible to succeed. Then for Atlanta, I'm going to go ahead and give them Jaden Daniels. Look, here's the deal. Whoever they hire as head coach, in my opinion, I think it's going to end up being Bill Belichick. I just have this really strong feeling it's Bill Belichick. But even if it's not, whoever they end up hiring is going to want a new quarterback. They're not going to want to go into the year with Desmond Ridder. I think the only other option there would be to maybe trade for Justin Fields. And really, until that happens, you can't really assume they're going to do so. But what I look at here is they'll have Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier. You throw a quarterback in there, along with a solid defense, that team could really compete. Throw in a good coach there too. Falcons could get something going. They really could. Then we have the Bears back on the clock, and honestly, in this case, since the top receivers are off the board, I think you got to go tackle. Give Caleb Williams as much protection as possible. I still think they could go out in free agency because they have a lot of money. They have a lot of freaking cap space. They could go out in free agency and sign a receiver. They could make a run for T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley. Heck, they could go for Mike Evans. There's options there. But get an absolute stud for a tackle. I can't think of who their current left tackle is right now. I know they drafted Darnell Wright last year. Even if you end up sliding whoever's currently at left tackle in at guard, really whatever you got to do to make the O-line better. I don't know who all of their offensive linemen are. I just know that it wasn't good enough. So protect your number 1 overall quarterback and get an absolute stud in Olu Fashanu. Here for the Jets, I think I'm going to follow that same trend, and I know some Jets fans might think this is a reach. I have him as my 3rd best tackle in the class, and that's actually not a knock on him at all. He's a very good player. Honestly, on my big board, I'd have him higher than really most of these guys. I'm a big Amarius Mims fan. So I'm going to go ahead and have them take Amarius Mims. They need some clear offensive line help as well. Vikings on the clock. Honestly, I think they need some corner help. That is the main thing for me. And looking at that, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry would be a stud in Minnesota. Broncos on clock, and I'm going to go ahead and give them Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama. I've kind of been on the, no pun intended, but I've been kind of on the edge here with him and Laiatu Latu. I think either one of these guys would be a great edge for the Broncos. I feel like Dallas Turner would kind of, I don't know. I think he'd just be a better fit there. I really do. The Raiders are on the board, and they actually did hire Antonio Pierce for their head coach today. So, good for him. I think that's exactly what the players wanted. The players were very vocal about wanting to keep him. I think that's the smart move. I think he's building a culture there that players are going to want to play for him. I think he's a player's coach. I think he's a smart coach. Raiders could be good pretty soon. And something that's definitely going to help them out with that is getting some interior D-line help. Because, you throw in him with, Max Crosby on the edge, as well as, Tyree Wilson gets another year under his belt on the other edge. That could be a pretty scary D-line. Saints on the clock here. And I'm kind of looking at edge for them as well. I mean, Cam Jordan is getting old. He's what, like 35 now? 34, 35. He's getting old. I know they have Pete Werner as well. Can't really think who their other edges are right now. They did get there was someone they got last year in the second round. Why can't I think of his name? Anyways, I know they did get an edge in the second round last year. To my knowledge, I don't believe he played very much this year. I think you get an absolute stud like Latu, and honestly, I think he ends up being an instant starter, whether it's over Pete Werner or Cam Jordan. I think he is an instant impact maker. Colts on the board now, though, and I'm going to go ahead and give them, in my opinion, the second best corner in the class in Nate Wiggins. Seahawks now, I'm going to go ahead and give them Jared Verse, some edge help, some pass rush help. Jacksonville on the clock, and here's something that I don't believe that I've done in a mock draft yet. At least I don't think I have. I'm going to give them Keon Coleman. I'm going to go under the assumption they don't re-sign Calvin Ridley and just give Trevor Lawrence as much help at receiver as possible. I think Keon Coleman's really good. He does have a little bit of an issue with separating, but he's so good in those contested catches anyways that, I mean, and really with his size and speed, with some good coaching, he can learn to separate better. He can learn to become a better route runner. Yeah, he's a little raw there. Like I say, the separation's not there. But because the speed is, you can coach that route running into him. You really can. And honestly, I think Doug Peterson's a smart enough coach that they can get the most out of him. Cincinnati's on the clock, and I'm kind of torn between J.C. Latham and Cooper DeJean right here. I think either one of them would be a great pick. I don't know. Because they very clearly need some O-line help. But Cooper DeJean is a very attractive pick to Cincy. So, man, that's a tough one. If there's any Bengals fans watching, let me know what you think of this pick. I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. I was really torn on J.C. Latham right there, though. Rams on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and give them J.C. Latham. Rob Havenstein is getting pretty old. He did play pretty well this year, actually, but he is getting older. I really don't know how much longer he's going to play. I know their interior O-line actually played really well this year as well, but I can't really think of who their left tackle is right now for some reason. Yeah, I can't think of who their other tackle is right now, and I think J.C. Latham would be a big help. Steelers kind of in a similar spot. I think they could definitely benefit off getting some tackle help. I think Talise Fuaga would be probably the best pick here. Miami on the clock, and I don't know if Dolphins fans are gonna agree with my thinking here, but Bradley Chubb tore his ACL this year. That is a very, very tough injury to come back from. Honestly, he might not even be ready by the start of next year. It may take a few extra weeks into the season. And honestly, I don't know that I love the rest of that pass rush anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and actually give them Chop Robinson. Dolphins fans, let me know what you think of that. Eagles, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm going Terry on Arnold. They need some corner help real bad. James Bradbury has been hot garbage this season, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Eagles fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Moving on. Texans on the board, and I'm going to go ahead and give them... I'll be honest, I'm really intrigued by giving them Braylon Trice. I think that edge help would be really nice. But how bad do they really need it, though? Because they've got Will Anderson. I'm trying to remember who their other edge was. Because I feel like I remember him being not that bad. Because I know that he's not necessarily a huge need for them, but he's probably best player available right here. If not, it's Brian Thomas, which also would not be a bad pick. So, yeah, Jonathan Grenard. That's what I was thinking. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he hit double-digit sacks this season, so maybe we do stay away from that. You know, let's go Brian Thomas. Let's get C.J. Stroud another weapon. Especially considering I believe Noah Brown is actually a free agent this offseason. And I think having a young stud receiver to help Nico Collins and Tank Dell would honestly make C.J. Stroud just even better. So, Dallas on the board now, pick 24. Honestly, I think here would be a good spot for Braylon Trice. Or, no. I'm going to go Troy Fat... Oh my gosh. Why can I not pronounce his name? Troy Fatnow. Honestly, I think Tyron Smith might be done. And honestly, they're going to need some tackle help. That's really all I've got to say about that. So we're going to go Troy Fatnow. Packers on the board. And I'm actually going to go with Cameron Kinchens here. He's my number one safety in the draft. I think he'd be a stud with Green Bay. Bucks on the board. We're going to give them Braylon Trice. I think that's the right pick. I really do. Cardinals on the board. We now give them a corner, and we'll give them a Quinion Mitchell. Chiefs on the board, and you know, we're going to have Troy Franklin go in the first round today. Bills on the clock. We're also going to give them a receiver, and I'm going to go ahead and give them Adonai Mitchell. I'm a big Mitchell fan. I think he's going to be real good. Lions now. I'm going to go ahead and give them Kamari Lassiter. Niners on the clock. We're going to go ahead and give them Jordan Morgan. Last, Baltimore on the clock. And we'll go ahead and give them... I think we'll go ahead and give them Kalen King. Now, this was only supposed to be a one-round mock draft. I will go ahead and choose for the Panthers right here as well, since they don't have a first-round pick, you know, just to help them out. I'm going to go ahead and, in this situation, I would probably take Xavier Worthy. Xavier Legette is also a good option, and Ladd McConkey is also a solid option. Personally, though, I think Worthy is the best option, given the board. So, Let me know what you thought of that mock draft in the comment section below. Again, guys, make sure to smash that like button. I'm so close to that 1,500 subscriber mark. And yeah, I will see you next time. Later.